I mean, I think all of us look to do something that's meaningful and impactful, and lacrosse has become the perfect vehicle for me to do that.
Our goal with First Class Lacrosse has always been to provide an elite training environment. When we were building this concept of best in class, our goal was to weave in the development and the training that we care deeply about, but also we think makes a really big impact in player development.
It's invite only, players from all around the country in certain grades. How can we take this environment where people are coming for 2 days, playing with strangers, with coaches they don't typically play for, and make that a special 2 days?
Matt and I went through the recruiting process back in the summers of 2010 and 2011. It's exciting to be on the other side now, trying to help players be their best on the field and off the field and get that recruiting exposure.
All right, fellas, welcome to Best in Class. My name is Deemer Class, and really excited to have you guys here at our Rising Junior event. This is our 4th summer. We've had 3 amazing years, and we're excited for another one coming right up these next 2 days.
Hey guys, Matt Dunn. Graduated from Maryland in 2016. Currently play in the PLL for the Whipsnakes, and have been working part of First Class Lacrosse for about 5 years now. So very excited to be back for another year with all of you.
I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. I started playing lacrosse at 6 years old, and it was something that has always been a part of my childhood.
I've played lacrosse most of my life. By 7th or 8th grade, I would say lacrosse had become my favorite sport.
We've put together a great 2 days of not just gameplay, but training as well, right? We really believe that you guys need to keep getting better. You need to keep developing, right? And being a student of the game, right? Those words are thrown around a lot, but the guys that really dig in and love that process of developing and competing are ones that really start to separate themselves.
I think as the years went on and I kept learning how to work hard and dedicate myself to something, the passion and love for the game of lacrosse really grew, and I was fortunate going into junior year to get some exciting recruiting opportunities, and I committed to Duke October of my junior year. From there, the process and trying to be the best I could be and being really hungry and playing with a chip on my shoulder is a mentality that I really embraced.
Here's Class, and Deemer Class with his 5th tally of the afternoon. Duke within 1.
I guess people say don't work with your friends or family, and I could see why, but I also think Deemer and I have done a really good job of maintaining a good friendship and a business relationship. And I think that's a challenge as you get older, because you're thinking more about your future and your career, and you're making sacrifices to do something, and it requires a ton of trust.
Should be pretty easy, and if you're not running a drill, just as much as you can grab a guy and just kind of give him little tips and points here, I think it's a cool opportunity to get hands-on with the guys.
We have the offensive coaches grouped together, so that's listed.
Deemer and I believe, met in middle school for the first time. We played LTRC football together in 7th or 8th grade. A friend of a friend for a little while. We knew each other. And then Deemer came to Loyola in 9th grade.
It's been really fun for me to build that relationship with him over the years, and someone who I can truly say is a best friend.
Fast forward through high school, Deemer and I were captains of the varsity team our senior year, and at that point had gotten very close. He got recruited to play at Duke. I went to Maryland. That was always kind of a fun thing we had, because Maryland and Duke were in the ACC at that point. We got to play a few times in college, and then just remained really close.
I worked for 1 year out of school, and I wasn't happy with how the start to my professional lacrosse career was going. So I had just tried to find a way to make playing lacrosse a reality. And that's when the initial stages of what is now First Class Lacrosse and Best in Class really took hold.
I was still working for about 3 to 4 years. And then in 2019, when the PLL started, I just knew I wanted to get into lacrosse a little more. I hadn't, coached at all, and a part of me really wanted to.
I went to 40 cities and over 30 states to run clinics. That was, I think, exhilarating. I think that was nerve-wracking. I think it was a big risk from a career perspective, but I think it's really paid off in terms of being able to pursue and chase something that I love and that I'm passionate about.
Deemer was like, hey, why don't you come run some defensive stuff?
When Matt first called me and had decided that he was having similar feelings and thoughts around leaving his career and getting into lacrosse full-time, I think that maybe it was only a year or so after I had made that jump.
And so in about 2019, just before COVID, that was the first time that he and I had really joined forces. What we're doing now is a shock. I thought I was just kind of dipping my toe in the water of the lacrosse world, and here we are.
How could this be a legitimate business and venture that could make a lasting impact on the sport? And I think, it was always important to me that this doesn't start and end with one person. And I think that Matt's addition has been absolutely amazing, and it's been extremely rewarding to build that together and to be able to do it with other people and one of my best friends has been amazing. If it were to stay how it was 6 or 7 years ago, that would have been a solo mission. But I think to try to formulate and build this into a lasting, well-oiled machine, it was going to be about the people that we got involved.
Deemer, sorry for texting you so late. Good, how are you?
Before we get started, I think one thing that I really want to try to impress upon everyone is be present, right? Be in the moment. I think this summer, it's so easy to get caught up thinking about September. It's easy to get caught up thinking about what coaches are watching. If you don't make this...
For whatever reason, I got into lacrosse at an early age. I really loved it, and I was good at it, and I had an opportunity to play at a high level. Lacrosse has given me an opportunity to coach and have that impact as a living. It's a fluid game, it's a creative game, it's a competitive game, it's a fast game, it's a skilled game, it's an athletic game. I just appreciate where the creativity kind of meets the coaching and how you can empower players to be their best in a sport. I think a phrase we've really liked is learn, train, compete. We want players to learn, we want them to train, we want it to be a competitive environment, but I think even more important is this idea of community. That's something that over the years has really kind of been woven through the fabric of Best in Class. So in addition to it being a lacrosse event where we hope they come away with, learning, training, and great competition, they're coming away with a community and a network that they didn't have before. And I think for us, as a coach, that makes it really special where you form relationships deeper than just being on the field with them for 2 days, but you get to help them throughout their journey beyond that.
When we bring 160 families together for this event, I think the community and everything that we're about comes out.
I hope in my lifetime lacrosse becomes a major sport, a top professional sport that young players grow up aspiring to be a professional lacrosse player. When they're a professional lacrosse player, they can be a full-time professional lacrosse player.
The sport of lacrosse is growing in a direction where it's nationwide and it's global.
There's places all over the country where sometimes coaching is a limiting factor. And I think for us to be able to try to democratize this coaching that we felt we've got great coaches and are learning from some of the best minds in our sport, we look at ourselves as a medium to deliver that at scale to people.
First Class Lacrosse and Best in Class have an opportunity to be at the forefront of innovating that and developing the game's best players.
And it's about more than just having success on the field. It's about being a great teammate. It's about your character. It's the way you interact with each other. It's about the way you maybe step out of your comfort zone to introduce yourself to your coach. Sport's a great microcosm for the rest of life. And so if you can learn these things through sport, it'll make you a better person. And so a lot of the stuff that we focus on at Best in Class, in the way players carry themselves, the way we expect our coaches to interact with the players, the way we hold ourselves to a standard of how we address the players, is meant to represent what we want to embody at FCL as a whole, of really trying to elevate and impact the players that interact with us in a positive way, both on and off the field.